Yo, what's good? What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day. It's Neff, and today we're going to be taking a look at a couple builds that I've been playing with in the Dragonflight pre-patch. First build we're going to look at is mainly for single target. The next two will be more for AoE or Mythic Plus. One involves Essence Break, and the other is the Fel Bombardment Any Means Necessary build that I'm sure you've heard of. I'm kind of going to go through these builds, break them down, go through the rotation, tell you how they work, why they work, and just everything you need to know about them. But before we get into the video, I do want to shout out my UI. It's available for Twitch subscribers, and I now recently opened up a Patreon, so you can snag my entire UI package and installer just for $3 USD on Patreon or Prime Sub on Twitch. It's a great way to show me some support. You get the best UI out there. It is currently updated for all specs in Dragonflight, so if it's something you're interested in, there's a link in the description, my Patreon and Twitch. I also will be adding more stuff to my Patreon rather than just my UI, but that'll be coming in the future. But anyways, so I also have a Google document that you can check out in the description where you can find the import codes for these talent builds, all the new stuff and changes Havoc received in the pre-patch, and a lot more. Anyways, first build we're going to look at is the single target build. This build does very good sustained damage and has potential to do burst at the same time. So the main components of this build is your Covenant, which will be Venthyr. If you've been playing, Season 3 and 4, you should know Sinful Brand or Covenant spell from Venthyr does a crazy amount of damage and will be the Covenant of choice for all of these builds. Next, your Shadowlands legendary will be Dark Glare Medallion. This legendary is RNG, but we don't need to run Collective Anguish since it is a talent now, and the class tree and the legendary and talents and conduits and everything, they do not stack. High rolling on this legendary can lead to an insane amount of uptime on meta and your Sinful Brand. On a boss like Guardian of the first ones, as you can see here, I had a 94% uptime on meta because of this legendary, but it's not solely based on the legendary. Another big factor in keeping your meta up is Shattered Destiny. It's a new talent introduced in our talent tree that extends meta by 0.1 seconds for every 8 fury we spend, and Cycle of Hatred also contributes to that. It's a talent that saw some big changes in our new talent tree. It's no longer RNG, it's guaranteed CDR on I-Beam anytime you cast Chaos Strike, Blade Dance, or Glaive Tempest. And the last pieces of this build that really makes it come together are First Blood and Dancing with Fate, which really allows us to press Blade Dance and Death Sweep in single target. First Blood was changed to do chaos damage, so it now scales with our mastery, but it no longer reduces the fury cost of Blade Dance, but that's totally fine. If you look at our fury generation with this build compared to Skolex in Season 3 and before the new talents, we're almost doubling our fury generation. And remember that Shattered Destiny, it increases the duration of meta by how much fury we spend, so the faster we can spend more fury, the better. And the last thing I should mention is if you are running low on fury, but 99% of the time you won't be, you can use Fel Rush to generate fury. Because of the talent, we take Isolated Prey, which also increases our I-Beam damage by 25%, which is really nice. So the opener of this build is very simple and single target. You want an Immolation Aura on pull, Fel Rush to generate Fury, Sinful Brand, I-Beam, Annihilation to use your Inner Demon proc, Death Sweep, Vengeful Retreat to reproc Initiative, and then Meta to cancel that Vengeful Retreat animation, and then Death Sweep, I-Beam, Annihilation to use your Inner Demon proc, and then you can hunt. The rotation is, it's a simple opener. The rotation is even easier. Basically spamming Annihilations and using everything on cooldown just to generate and spend as much fury as you can as fast as you can, just to keep that meta uptime. Also, if you get a Dark Glare Medallion proc before you use meta, you want to use that I-Beam from that proc before you use meta. So that's really all you need to know with the single target build. It's a very simple build. Your main focus is just keeping up Sinful Brand and your meta, but the next build we'll look at is my favorite build so far in the pre-patch, and that is Essence Break paired with Momentum and Ragefire. This build allows for some insane burst due to the potency of Essence Break itself, Chaotic Transformation paired with Essence Break, and Ragefire to keep that sustained damage after your big burst. So the main goal of this build is burst damage every 40 seconds. First off, your Essence Break, which is a 40-second cooldown, does a crazy amount of damage itself and increases the damage your Chaos Strike and Blade Dance deal by 80% for 4 seconds. Second is I-Beam. It shares the cooldown with Essence Break, but it needs to be paired with Demonic so we can buff our Death Sweep and Annihilations. And third is Chaotic Transformation. So without Essence Break, Chaotic Transformation is pretty underwhelming, but with Essence Break, this allows for huge burst windows with your meta, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And the last big components of this build is basically a bunch of stuff buffing our Death Sweep and Annihilations. So again, we have First Blood, which buffs our Death Sweep damage by a ton. Dancing with Fate, which also does the same. Initiative and Know Your Enemy paired together increases our crit damage by a huge amount and gives us very good critical strike chance scaling. And then we have Momentum, which is a flat 8% damage buff. And then we have Rage Fire, which will allow for sustained damage outside of our 40-second burst windows. So to achieve these big burst windows though, with this build it is a bit more complex than what Demon Hunter has been in the past, but it rewards you for doing so. But it is kind of the way we're always going to be playing now, since we have the talent Initiative and Vengeful Retreat reprocs initiative. But your opener would look something like this: Sinful Brand, Throw Glaive on pull to apply Burning Wound, Immolation Aura to generate Fury, Fel Rush, Eye Beam, Essence Break, Death Sweep, Vengeful Retreat to reproc initiative and momentum, meta as fast as you can, again out of this Vengeful Retreat to cancel the animation, and spam Death Sweep as you're in the meta transformation animation to get that Death Sweep off as fast as you can, so its full damage is buffed by the Essence Break. Then you can Hunt, Eye Beam, and then go through the motions of using your cooldowns whenever they come up. And then whenever you get cooldowns back up like Eye Beam and Essence Break, you just want to make sure to use Eye Beam before you Essence Break so you can get that full Essence Break window in your demonic form. So the next build we'll look at is a very fun and simple build. Using the Fel Bombardment legendary from Shadowlands, our newly acquired talents in our tree can lead to some very high sustained damage from Throw Glaive of all things. So with the additions to talents like Furious Throws, Accelerating Blade, and Soul Rend, paired with our Fel Bombardment legendary, can create some really fun gameplay and really good damage in AoE. Kind of lacks in single target, but it really excels in AoE very consistently since it relies on Immolation Aura, which is a 20-second odd cooldown. So one of the main things, Soul Rend, it does 120% additional damage as chaos damage over 6 seconds, which scales with our mastery to anything we hit with Throw Glaive. Paired with Fel Bombardment, we hit entire packs with our Throw Glaive. Fel Bombardment also increases the damage of our Throw Glaive, which inherently increases the damage of our Soul Rend since its damage is based off of our Throw Glaive damage. So going down this side of the tree gives you access to any means necessary, which converts any single school magic damage like Arcane, Fire, Frost, Nature, and Shadow to chaos damage, which scale with our mastery. As you can probably tell, yes, this build does like a lot of mastery. So some of the main abilities that change to chaos damage from this talent are Immolation Aura changes from Fire to Chaos, Fel Devastation changes from Fire to Chaos, the Hunt changes from Nature to Chaos, Sigil of Flame changes from Fire to Chaos, and Demon Blade changes from Shadow to Chaos. The main one we're looking at though is Immolation Aura doing chaos damage. Its scaling with our mastery will increase the damage of Rage Fire, which does a huge amount of damage if packs actually live long enough to see the end of your Immolation Aura. And I know all of these numbers and all of this converting damage and scaling and everything, yeah, I know it seems like a lot, but it's really simple to play. I'm kind of just breaking down how and why this build actually works. So going pack to pack with this build, you mainly just want to focus on keeping up Soul Rend and Burning Wound as much as you can, which you'll passively do just by throwing some glaives, but trying not to overlap Soul Rends, especially if you have a 5-stack Fel Bombardment Soul Rend on your target. The way Fel Bombardment works is your Immolation Aura gives you stacks of Fel Bombardment up to 5 stacks, which increases the damage of your Throw Glaive by 50% for each stack. Even if you're sitting at 5 stacks of Fel Bombardment, do not just spam throw your glaive because you're limited on charges of it. So you want to just wait out your current Soul Rend before you throw glaive again. And that's basically it. The opener for this build is not crazy important, but I would recommend Sigil of Flaming on pull pack to pack. Throw glaving one time before you Immolation Aura to apply Burning Wound, so your initial Immolation Aura is buffed by Burning Wound, waiting for a couple stacks of Fel Bombardment, then throw glaving again, and then just maintaining that Soul Rend dot by throwing glaives. But again, try your best not to overlap. When you go into big pulls, your Fel Bombardment will stack up very fast to 5 stacks. So if you're in a big pull and you're sitting at 5 stacks for a couple seconds, don't worry about it. You'll have that 5 stacks back in like 2 seconds, as long as you're in like a decent sized pull. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I might do another video going over some more builds. I've just been testing the waters, and these are the builds that really stood out to me the most and seemed to be the most effective. But yeah, my UI is available for Twitch subs or patrons. You can find the link to both in the description. Patreon is cheaper. You keep more money in your pocket, and I also get a bigger cut of that compared to Twitch, which takes 50% and more fees. So if you like the UI you see in the video, make sure to check that out. And I'll probably be making another video like this soon with some more builds. So make sure to hit the sub button. Leave a like if you liked the video. Make sure to comment and let me know some builds that you've been trying or how you've been liking Havoc in the pre-patch. And yeah, till next time, hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.